What's going on, Columbus?
Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
Columbus, Ohio.
I'm here with the Kottonmouth Kings of Orange County, the hip-hop punk rock band. What's up, y'all?
Southern Cali in your area. What's up, Ohio? Been a long time since we've been to Columbus. About, 6 months?
Yeah, it's been about since like October, right?
We're here at the ICP, yep. Yeah, we're back.
First question I want to ask is, where's the best chronic on the tour?
In my chest. It's been
In your chest.
about the last month and a half.
Well, the best chronic is through the FedEx, and that's, you know what I mean? Best chronics through the
What about United Pot Smugglers?
United Pot Smugglers.
UPS, man.
Okay, yeah, it's all about shake and bake, and I'll help, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, one more. In the song,
I'm trying to figure out why everything is so brown out here in the middle of the country, man. It's hard to get chronic out here in these parts.
I don't know either, man. I couldn't answer that one.
I've actually been praying for you guys out here. I said, Lord, God bless the Midwest. Lord, take away the stress. You know, because
Yeah.
we need to see some more kind buds out here. So bring the kind bud to the show.
Hell yeah, man. All right. In the song Suburban Life, you guys are basically saying fuck the American dream. You guys want to elaborate on that a little bit for me? Daddy X?
Oh, no, well, basically, we were brought up in a system where we're brainwashed to believe, first of all, America as a country has only been here 200 years, and it's as long as we first acknowledge that this country was stolen from the Native American people who had occupied this land
Stolen.
thousands and thousands of years, and the new colonists came over and took over this country by massacring the biggest genocide. Talk about ethnical cleansing that they claim that they are so opposed in Kosovo. That's how this whole country was taken over. At first we got to acknowledge that this country is built on lies and blood of the Native American people, and that we're all put here and supposedly to conform to the big machine, and we're just saying that it's all about our purpose for living, and we all have a reason for being here on this planet, and we don't believe it's necessary to have to work a 9 to 5 to pay all your taxes and you live in credit and in debt to try to fulfill the illusion of ownership in America. And we just believe that we're trying to attain freedom, as individuals in our time here in this lifetime. That's it. That's basically about it.
Hell yeah, man. That was great, dude. What do you think of taxes, you guys? What do you guys think of that shit?
They're stealing.
Stilly.
Well, any society, you want to have roads and you want to have certain things. We believe there should be a flat tax, but just the way the taxes are in America, it's pretty much stealing. They take 33% of your income, but they tax you for making money. They tax you when you live. They tax you when you die. They tax you when you sell. They tax you when you buy. They don't stop taxing you. So taxes basically are stealing. Yeah.
Definitely. Saw that on the inside inlet of the CD too, man. That's great. What's the word that best describes the Kottonmouth Kings philosophy?
Anarchy.
Saint Dog.
Anarchy.
What up, y'all? It's the Jokerz Gallery right here on the Fago Lovers Network. Another edition of 5-Piece coming at you today. Today we're going to talk about an album that I know me, Luke, and Rone Bone fucking loved growing up, and then Mike heard it. We finally got him to listen to it about a year ago, and he fucking digs the fuck out of the album. It's Kottonmouth Kings, Royal Highness, the debut from the motherfucking Kottonmouth Kings. Before we get into the list, I'll introduce the panel right here beside me. You got the host of Speak Your Clout podcast, Mr. Mike Sears.
What's good, y'all? Speak Your Clout podcast, Goon's Gallery, 5-Piece. Bend the boys, the vibes, do the punches for me. There you go. Try to bring that back when I'm not so fucking tired and all that.
Mike had like 5 hours of streaming because I was watching like 4 hours of it, so he put it overtime today.
Top 10 sophomore hip hop albums, which is hard because there's so many.
That shit was dope, man. That shit was dope. I watched that whole fucking episode.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Right there below me, you got the Larry King of the Underground representing Trife Life for Life, LukeTheGoon.com for life, and Goon Management for life, Mr. Luke the Goon.
Oh, yeah. Goon Squad in this bitch. I don't have a whole lot to say. Noisetown.com, LukeTheGoon.com, LegionRealm.net, ArmyTheHeartless.com. Boom, hit them with it.
I don't have a whole lot to say. Here's fucking 8 things that that Ward didn't say. And then joining us today, we had to bring him on. Like I said, man, this is one of the dudes I know love this album as much as I do. From Beneath the Dirt, the Vince McMahon of Monday mornings, Rone Bone.
Everybody else flexing and shit. What up? Thank you for having me on again.
Yes, sir. I know we had you on the Malenko and the Joker card shit, and I know like this Kottonmouth Kings, especially this album right here with Saints, fucking right up there with all those fucking classic clown albums for you. So definitely, whenever we were like, we got to do the show for Royal Highness, I was like, Rone Bone gotta be on this panel. And also, he didn't get to be involved in the fucking listening party that me and Rone had been begging Mike to have for 3 years before that. So he can at least be in on the review.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, we're going to talk about the Kottonmouth Kings, Royal Highness. Before we get into that, we always go back to last week and let the viewers get their opinion out there. We talked about what we thought were the most underrated albums in the underground. Had a couple viewers weigh in with their opinion. Going to go ahead and post those up on the screen right now.
All right. We got Deckin the Vlogger, I guess is his name. So number 5, Violent J the Shining. Number 4, Monoxide Chain Smoker. Number 3, Basement Guts. Number 2, Twisted's Toxic Terror Tour EP. And number 1, Dark Half's The Hemingway Solution. That's an interesting way of spelling Hemingway, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah, all albums that we didn't mention. Whenever I go and look for the comments, I always look for ones that we didn't mention, because if we just post the same shit that we posted about, it's not really that entertaining for anybody. So I think The Shining is kind of underrated. It's got a lot of like lower tier stuff, but there's some pretty good stuff on there as well. It was like also like a Cave and Rock Gathering fucking like disc that got played because he like gave it away there to Seminar, and then like people played it that whole weekend, and then coming back that next week or that next year, the full album came out. People were playing the shit out of that, so it's kind of like a Cave and Rock fucking memory for me. That and oddly enough, DJ Clay's Let 'Em Bleed also, which I think is on another list.
Yeah, this one from Alex. DJ Clay's Let 'Em Bleed mixtape volume 1. ICP's Forgotten Freshness 5, Twisted's Darkness, Boondocks and Buckshot's Paradigm Shift, and number 1, I know you guys will like this one, Gmo Ski's Android Filth Teen EP.
That niggas better skate like Streets of Rage.
Yeah, dope picks right there. All those are pretty solid picks. I think those Let 'Em Bleed mixtapes are slept on, because there's like, what, 6 of them or something like that? I know there's 4 that came in a box set, and I think like there's so much music that came at you at once, a lot of people slept on it. But that's another thing, that while I was waiting in line and shit for the Gathering back in the Cave and Rock era, man, like that shit was being bumped over the speakers, so like I heard like Kept Grinding and shit like that off of it, and was like, damn, this is higher quality shit than I thought it was. And I went to the record store and picked up the whole fucking box set for like $19.99. It was cheap as shit too for 4 albums. They were charging like $20 for albums back then. But you get all 4 of those for fucking $19.99 in a box set. So I picked them up. The covers were super dope too. They were all like illustrated. Some of them were like zombies. Some of them were superheroes and shit like that. So definitely one that slept on. So props to that dude for shouting them out.
I got that before the box set. I love Volume 3. That shit go hard. The Tech and DJ Clay shit. Let's ride with it. Fucking fire, bro.
That shit's fire. Volume 3 is probably the best one.
Yeah, my favorite.
We always talk about the first time we heard the album that we're talking about on the show, so got to go all the way back to 1998. For me, the first time I ever heard like Kottonmouth Kings on a disc was they were on Pumpkin Carver that I got at Hallowicked '98, and unfortunately they weren't on the fucking show. They were supposed to be there, but nonetheless they were on the fucking Pumpkin Carvers album. I thought that was super dope. Whenever I got back from Detroit for that, my chick had downloaded a bunch of fucking Kottonmouth King songs, which literally took like 4 hours each to download in '98, and like they were scratchy as fuck and like horrible quality, but nonetheless they sounded dope. So the next time I went to the mall, I picked up Most Tasteless and also picked up Royal Highness. So I've been bumping with this fucking album forever, and it was the it was like the soundtrack of all of us like smoking weed for the first time, all my homies and me smoking weed. So I lost that shit. It got scratched up so many times. I've bought this album 4 times. And I've owned 5 copies because a homie gave me one time, and I've purchased 4 myself. So I put in 4 fucking purchases of this fucking album. Love this fucking album, man. The only one that Saint Dog's on, other than like Hidden Stash 1. I know Mike didn't hear about it until like a year ago. So what'd you think about it whenever the first time you was hearing it, whenever we were sitting there like doing the listening party with you on Luke the Goon's channel?
Before I get to that, I got to get to how I heard him first. Like you, Pumpkin Carver. Didn't think it was that bad. But my ex of 5 years, fuck you, because she never played Royal Highness ever. Rolling Stone and High Society, I think the Hidden Stashes, I didn't like it at all. I fucking hated it. Seen him live a bunch of times, didn't like him. RP Pac Leaker, I thought he was dope. He dances and shit, though. And if I swear to God, if I had Royal Highness back in the day, I told Ron on Twitter, that would be in the fucking rotation for Malenko and fucking Most Aceless. Hands down, it's fucking a fantastic album. I wish Saint Dog stood with the group. When I first heard it at Listening Party, first track, I was like, Then after, I think it was Play On, I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, after Bone Token Alcoholics, he didn't like it. Luke was getting worried. He's like, "Oh shit!"
I love that song. I love that song. So when he didn't like it, I was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "This is gonna be a long fucking listening party."
Yeah, Saint Dog. I like Saint Dog so much. R.I.P. Like he got that fucking West Coast twang. He's so much better than everybody else, in my opinion. D-Loc probably the second best, especially in that era in 1998. Yeah, I personally love the album. I think it's a great album. It's a classic in my eyes. And if I had it back then, you damn right I'd be playing it.
Yeah, because as a juggalo, especially, like it was the messages were being pushed to only fuck with juggalo shit at the time, and for me, like to only be listening to ICP and then suddenly discover 2 other groups that were dope as fuck that had albums was fresh. Because like I said, if the messages was being pushed, like look at Documentary, like juggalos only fucking listen to ICP shit. They hear ICP and they only listen to that. They were pressing that shit. Like they weren't promoting other fucking acts at all back then. Like, so it was dope to have 2 other bands whenever I got back from Hallowicked to get into, because the juggalo world was growing then. That's whenever like the family era started coming up and up and up. What you got, Luke?
It probably would have been Pumpkin Carver as well. I went over to my homie Matt Miller, the one who introduced me to ICP, and I'm guessing that his older brother, who introduced him to ICP, went to Hallowicked. I don't know. Somehow we had the Pumpkin Carver single. I don't know how, but we had it. And I actually don't remember buying the album, Royal Highness, but I know I had it back then because I've had it forever, and I remember bumping it way the fuck back then. So yeah, I would have been hearing them on Pumpkin Carver and then being like, and it's the same reasons you said, like ICP co-signed them. And like I've said this before on the show, like ICP is literally the only thing I listened to back then. So that's like Royal Highness would have been probably it depends when Most Tasteless came out, but it would have been either the second or third like album, like other than ICP, that I ever bought.
Yep.
Yeah, and I love that fucking record. Like this, whenever I listen to this record, it gives me like heavy nostalgia. Like I remember I didn't listen to it for a long time, and then I pumped it in. It was like brought me back. I was like, oh shit, you know all the words and shit. Like fuck yes, bro. I love this record.
Just a party album. I put on a 98 Kottonmouth Kings performance before we recorded the show, and man, it was just a party, man. It was fucking crazy. That was what stood out the most. It was just fucking crazy, the energy them dudes had. Like, it started out with Suburban Life, and basically it's the 3 of them. It's X, Loc, and Saint Dog doing a circle pit, rapping the song. They're just on stage doing a circle pit with each other, and the crowd's getting into it and shit. And then, like I always talk about with Kottonmouth Kings, the Kottonmouth Queens, man, the fucking Kottonmouth Queens was crazy in that fucking era. It was dope that like they actually had some fucking females in the Juggalo shows. And on that show I was just watching, like you think of Fago Armageddon when the clowns bring all the Juggalos on stage. I was telling these dudes, I was like, it's like that, but it's nothing but dime pieces as far as the eyes can see. Like it's nothing but chicks. They did a fucking Pimp Twist and brought up all the chicks, man. They were all dime pieces. So the Kottonmouth Queens, man, they were fucking a big part of the scene too. What do you think about Rome?
So Kottonmouth Kings, I found them Royal Highness era. The album must have just came out. I don't know. I've told the story before, but we were at the record store, me and a couple of my buddies, and my friend picks up the CD, And he's like, Kottonmouth Kings, Royal Highness. I'm going to get this. I don't know what possessed him to get it. I don't know if he heard Pumpkin Carver because he was into the Juggalo, ICP shit at that point. But for whatever reason, he bought that album. I had never heard of Kottonmouth Kings before that. Got back to his crib, put it on. That first track hit, and it was like the soundtrack to our lives at that moment. I was like, holy shit. I was like, this is us right now. Like, this is awesome. We're like 15 years old and shit. It was great.
Fuck, like D-Loc and Saint weren't much older. They're like 18, 19 on this fucking album. So like, if a 15-year-old hearing that shit, and yeah, like you said, it's like they're fucking rapping about your life.
They're rowdy as fuck, fuck the police, fuck the government, all this shit is like, it was like the perfect follow-up to ICP. It was like, yes, this is the shit. And then hearing them shout out Juggalos and ICP on the album, it's like sold.
Yeah. Same clown posse talking about chicken hunting.
Yeah.
I remember when we did that like listening party, like I knew that line was covered up, so I looked at Mike and like he marked out. I could see he marked out whenever they said that. I was like, "Yep, that's the same effect it had on me in '98. It still works."
Exactly.
Go ahead and get into our top fives from this fucking classic Juggalo album. 5 spot for me, Dog's Life.
The life I lead is the life of a dog. I may have fleas, but I run a yard. I see those clones looking down on me, but unlike those clones, this dog is free. Oh Lord, it's a dog's life. Oh Lord, it's a dog's life, dog's life. Oh Lord, it's a dog's life. Oh Lord, it's a dog's life, dog's life. I'm feeling kinda irie. It's bubbling inside me.
Straight up, it's a dog's life. Wait, stop that track. Let's rewind, retract, post slack, and roll back to the days when I hung with G-Mac. You got the face facts, so relapse. What about G-Mac? Met his homie E-Loc, met his cousin D-Loc. Moved into his house and we didn't want to be broke. So long, slung, smoke, I wrote rhymes. Decided way back that we had good times. Now we drank brews and we shot booze. Both got ladies and broke the brews. But I snooze my squeeze, clean my slate. And like a dog should, yo, I pissed on this plate.
I'm loving Southern Cali, drinking brews in the alleys, holding down the stages from Diego to the valley, busting up my cow and getting lifted off the Maui. As I fly, going big at Snow Valley.
Oh Lord, it's a dog's life. Oh Lord, it's a dog's life, dog's life. Oh Lord, it's a dog's life, dog's life. Oh Lord, it's a dog's life, dog's life.
I'm feeling kinda irie. It's bubbling inside me.
The life I lead is the life of a dog. I may have fleas, but I run a yard. I ain't no slave to a suit and a tie. No rat race clone, I'll never be that guy. I ain't got up in some selfish career. I'm living in love, Lord, and not in fear. I see those clones looking down on me, but unlike those clones, I'm on his
Save them all for the clones. My mental's homegrown. I'd rather be myself than live my life like a drone. If you got a job, here's what I say. You'll be off to work and I'll be on my way. Skater, pop, I go dirt bike riding. You'll be punching clocks and I'll be grinding and sliding. 50-50 grinds, kick hands and act necks. It really don't matter cause I roam with the dog pack.
Oh Lord, it's a dog's life, dog's life. 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 Oh Lord, it's a dog's life, dog's life.
Oh, lion styly, these flows make me irie. My satisfaction when the crowd gets smiley. Behind me, chatting Kottonmouth Kings. Over on stage, busting rhymes, blowing rings.
I'm feeling kinda irie.
Lord have mercy, forgive me for my sins. I lived the dog's life, so how do I begin? I ain't never had a dope track to write a dope rap. I started with the broke back, then I handled that. No phone track to play back, just my ghetto blaster. A Bonk grip with D-Loc, then I'm like the master.
I'm watching you go to work on a Monday morning while I contemplate, Lord, what I'm doing. I might go surf, I write the song instead. I might puff a spliff and eat and go back to bed. Oh God, that the ex-lord, me true brethren, and flash the latest dub from the new to root. A bumper years demand, but me style and pattern. Now with the Kottonmouth Kings upon the two root rhythm.
I love it, it's a dog's life, dog's life. I love it, it's a dog's life, dog's life. I love it, it's a dog's life, dog's life. I love it, it's a dog's life, dog's life. I love it, it's a dog's life, dog's life. I love it, it's a dog's life, dog's life. I love it, it's a dog's life, dog's life. I love it, it's a dog's life, dog's life.
This is one of those songs that I think they still play, even to, like, up until the end of the Kottonmouth Kings. They were still playing that shit, even though Saint wasn't there, or even Dog Boy and Too Rude wasn't there. It was such a classic that you got to play it so the audience can sing along with "It's a dog's life, dog's life." So got to be on the list for me. Also, a dope ass video. We talked about the ICP like alliance and shit in the Dog's Life video. DJ Bobby B's rocking a Carnival Carnage shirt, so it's like even more of like a shout out to ICP to see that. It's that dope ass like shirt from the 90s, black with the red and white fucking Carnival Carnage design. One that probably all of us had whenever we first started getting down with the clown. So Dog's Life had the 5 spot for me.
When you said it, I said same. So that's my number 5 too. Dog's Life. It got that. I'm a big Sublime fan, so it got like Sublime, that tendency in there. You know, white boys doing good fucking reggae. I fucks with it. It's dope. You broke it down lovely. I ain't got much to say, but I love when Dog was like, "Dog's life, the life I lead. I may have fleas, but I love that shit."
I run this yard. Yeah, it's a dope song. I always mention that Travis Barker, he had that fucking reality show on MTV, Meet the Barkers, I think it was called, him and his wife when they got married. And every time it showed like Travis smoking weed, it was fucking Dog's Life in the background. It was playing. I think he's in a video with them too, so he might have even requested that shit. So it was dope they were getting put on like that, because we didn't mention it in the intro at all whenever we were talking about first hearing about the Kottonmouth Kings. One of the main ways a lot of people heard about Kottonmouth Kings were on the Scream 2 soundtrack. We didn't even mention that got Suburban Life. If you remember, whenever the dude's getting murdered in the van, like there's some skateboarders walking by and they're listening to fucking Suburban Life. So pretty fresh to have them put on like that again.
Hell yeah, man. All right, my number 5 is Bump.
Creep, creep, I'm on the creep of the kind bud. OC late night, rolling in the V-dub, sick of scraping resin, so I'm looking for a sack. All I learn, I'll head for burn. Be a show's got my back. Right on, brother. Blaze on.
Better rip that shit. Rip it.
Yeah, this is that 1605 shit. The real Huntington Beach backyard fucking growl style. Bum, bum, bum. That's the sounds of the 50s while they hitting in my trunk said bum, bum, bum. With a Kottonmouth Kings, so we don't give a fuck. Well, I'm that big that the bitches talk about. Saints what they shout, you got all the clouds. A day in the life of a Kottonmouth King, 1605. Pass me the pen. Now the stereo shop, I sway, push play. You hear humble vibes from a mile away. All the heads are bobbing cause the bass is bumping. D-Loc is mumbling. I got a little something. Well, pass me a horn and then I took a shit. Sparked up a bowl and I took a rip trip. Came to a halt at an intersection. Turned up the music at my discretion. D-Loc in the back said, what do I see? A Jeep full of freaks just staring at me. Coach was right, they was in a Range Rover. They over my shoulder, I pulled them all over. They got out the car and stepped to my side. I said, hey, let's take a ride. I'm Saint Dog, that's D-Loc the man. Daddy, yeah, she's the one that's driving the van. So climb on in and don't be shy. We're gonna close the doors and let the games be fly. Once again, I said it, my name's ST. It's just another
no education, no inspiration, no destination. But now my occupation is to do what I like. Keep the crowd moving and rock the mic. Cause if I don't rock it, then another sucker will. And if you don't jock it, then I can't pay the bill. Trip Daddy X threw me out on stage. Said Saint represent for the underage. Same damn year my face is up in rage. Got that ring in my nose, label 16 gauge.
Nah, Saint Dog, I hunt ducks with the 12 gauge. And when I'm on the stage, it's like get real blade. Get me on the court, my skills, I'll put you in a maze. Ticket to twine all day.
That's the sound to the 50s while they hitting in my truck. Said bump. When it got now kings and we don't give a fuck. Said bump. That's the sound to the 50s while they hitting in my truck. Said bump. When it got now kings and we don't give a fuck. Said bump. That's the sound to the 50s while they hitting in my truck. Said bump. D-Loc on the pipe, rip shit up.
It's the young political, psychoanalytical, undefeated champ that'll stick you, fool. My style is crazy, now we go walk lazy. If you chill with me, I'll be certain. Punch you in the ground, let you drift like a daisy. That shit's in my system, makes my life kinda hazy. My mama, my papa, I think I should tell them. The day got my head and fucked up my cerebellum. It's about time to compute your math. My beats be bumper like a seismic rap. See, I trip before, but never like this. Straight to my mind, pull my brain in a blitz. I won't fake the funk when I'm smoking on the skunk. It's 40 volt, Evo in my peacock truck. It like Mickey Mantle, I can switch my stance on my supercharged follow, that's a lesson in hand. Those are silky songs like I write them a lesson. And I'm a lyricist, that's poetry in motion. To each eye, conduct a motion. Just spell it, money, take it off with my push. Farewell to all and to all good night. I'll leave these music crit out all night.
That's the sound to the 50s while they hitting in my truck. Said bump. When I got now kings and we don't give a fuck. Bitch!
According to their Spotify numbers, their second most popular track on this fucking record. It's not produced by Daddy X, which a lot of this record is. It's produced by some guy called Marco Forcone, who I tried to find stuff on. I don't know, must have been like a local producer at the time. The song just fucking goes hard, bro. Like Mike would say, you put this in the whip and that shit fucking hits. It's just it's bump.
That's what the song's about.
That's all it is, literally. Like, the lyrics aren't too deep. It's just a song that you fucking put on and it's gonna fucking hit them speakers like crazy, man. It's I had to put it on my list at number 5. It's super fucking dope.
Banger.
Yeah.
All right. My number 5. This was hard. Like the number 5 spot. Sometimes when I do these shows with you guys, it's just clear cut what the 5 is. But this one, I was switching it up to like 10 minutes before I fucking hopped on here. I got to go with the opening track, Bonk Token Alcoholics.
The Bonk Token Alcoholics. The Bonk Token Alcoholics. The Bonk Token Alcoholics. The Bonk Token Alcoholics. Getting every night is a thing we do.
Waking up every day in the afternoon.
I crawl out the bed on the way to the shower.
Gotta hurry up, I got a date in the hour.
Wanna come my boy X on the shower phone.
What's up, say Max, don't alone. By the way, I got a freaks all way. Call up the crew to fill up late.
I hung up with X and gave my boys a holler. D-Loc picked girl, stop the strip.
Started freaking on my shit and the boyfriend tried to trip.
I said you talk shit, punk, let's step outside.
He put his fist up,
I put him on the side.
he got a left to the chin.
Straight forward to the dome.
Once he got the pick, the nigga's girly home. The token alcoholics. The Kottonmouth tip is what we call it. The token alcoholics. Step back, I'm about to grip, legalize it.
That shit is hard as fuck. That like even before hearing the line about ICP on Play On, like this shit was just like, it was like, oh, this is us as teenage kids just getting fucked up, just doing rowdy shit. I love it. I love the intro to the song. The American dream ain't what it seems. With lies they laced it. Can't you taste it? See, they based it in an imitation butter. I love that shit, man. I love the intros and like in between in the songs on this album, man. They just kill that shit. And Bonk Token Alcoholics, man, you know, they just talking about getting fucked up, you know. Saint talking about drinking his shit, Loc telling him to slow down, like, yo, chill, you know, you're getting fucked up. And it's just it's such a great song.
Yeah, then like finding out more about the Kings, you know, you find out that was probably real.
Oh, sure.
Say it was crazy as shit.
Sure. There's a few times on the album where like Loc is on here like, yo, Saint, chill, like
calm the fuck down, man. Break up.
Yep.
Yeah, moving up to the 4th spot for me. Life ain't what it seems.
Life ain't what it seems. It ain't no fucking dream. So get a grip up on your shit and make sure your pipes clean. When I bring booze to the crown, I'm a royal. Kottonmouth Kings make a pipe out of foil. Put a grip to my lip, dip it in honey oil. Smoke it to the butt, put it out in the soil. Pak Saint Dog, I'm out of weed again. I feel ya. Pockets looking thin and got a dime to spend. They mouth spinning, and yes, doing it. Smoke a cigarette and try to comprehend. Judicial system got me wishing I was president. I got a grudge against the judge, but that's irrelevant. I write a rhyme to attract and show intelligence. Shit, every other night I'm getting hella bent. I roll my skate to relate to this society. No money in my pockets cause I like to me too. No picks to my name to see my bong roll. I guess that's why they call me Praise D-Loc. Life ain't what it seems. It ain't no fucking dream. So get a grip upon your shit and make sure your pipes clean. When I roll buzz, I pull heat from my soil. Put the green in the bean, then I make my water boil. Alcohol in rice, roll nice with the coil. 80 y'all in the bomb, so the water don't spoil y'all. Damn, road dog, I'm out of drink again. Buzz, look at Sam, I need a Heineken. My bros locked down, doing 9-10. Step back, I'm up, crack, can you comprehend? Just city got me witty on this way of life. I ride up with the funk skin and whip a knife. There's a soul in my dome called the Twilight. I'm down for my crown each and every night. So I keep my tolerance, stay and shot my flow. Make you say, damn bro, I got to go to a show. Life ain't what it seems, it ain't a dream and I ain't playing. But insane bitches and daddy action playing. Life ain't what it seems. It ain't no fucking dream. So get a grip up on your shit and make sure your pipes clean. Now when I read a mag with a grand, I'm a royal. Government lies, yo, they make my water boil. R.I.P. to my peeps, 6 feet in the short river, shine hometown, represent, stay loyal. No money for a skate, no change for the tax. Wet circle with your keep up, forgot the sex wet. What? Got a circle trying to help you to relax. They want to put glass called the pyramid. Now afternoon to you is my morning. I wake up with the Russian and I'm snoring. Out of bed around 3, take 7 BTs like DJ Rob Harris, kid, I'm sorry. Appetites and ill, congested vibe, makes late and strive for my Bojack, addicted like Prozac, you know that I track them like LoJack, I'm slicker and quicker, I'll stick it like Kojak. I'm a look of must, one that I've created, it's one that I've inflated, won't trade it, so give me my space. Government control, so they hate it, our life it has been jaded and faded, we're getting erased. Life ain't what it seems. It ain't no fucking dream. So get a grip up on your shit and make sure your pipes clean. Pipes clean, make sure your pipes clean. Pipes clean, make sure your life ain't what it seems. It ain't no fucking
fucking chorus is fucking great, bad. Life ain't what it seems. It ain't no fucking dream. Get a grip upon your shit. Make sure your pipes clean. It's got fucking Saint singing it, so you got like that classic fucking Saint swag on the voice for it too. Like that's what really stood out on this album a lot is they just let Saint like start off songs to where you hear his voice and you're like, damn, that's so unique and something I've never heard before that it gets your attention. One of Saint's fucking flows in it. I pertain an ill-congested vibe, make ladies strife on my Bozak addicted like Prozac. You know that I track them like LoJack. I'm slicker and quicker. I stick them like Kojak. Like Saint, man, just on this fucking album, you can just see how good he was and how much of like a hip-hop fan he is, because I think the writing after this album went down significantly, and it's because Saint wasn't in the room.
And he's using slang like Bozak. That's EPMD,
Yeah.
It's EPMD shit. Number 4, Discombobulated.
Boy here, I'm stinging with the kings. Cool and delay. Say, come in.
Arrogant, faded, discombobulated. Never say I made it till I'm fishing off the top. OC players, fly around sayers. Haters can't fade us cause it's true hip hop. MCing is the place for me to be in. And nut swinging is the way that I be G'ing. Never leaning to the old for a lyrical hole. Keep my shit bold, roll rouse our skull.
Fuck parole when I stroll, man, I dodge 5-0. I dip, die, fuck a rob, live to rock the show. And the whole skip the blow, give me the rodeo. I like a lady down the ride like a rodeo.
You see, energy I fly like that hip on a hippie. Cats I like a mother cause my head's a little trippy. My brother like I'm sticky, so crack another ripty. High as the plains west of the Mississippi.
I be getting faded, discombobulated. Never say I made it till I'm pissing off the top. OC players, fly from sayers. Haters can't fade us cause it's true hip hop.
Hey rude boy, light your body non-stop. You're the first to start, you're the last to drop. Hey rude boy, you never fear the cops, cause music is a weapon and that them can't stop.
Punk rock mental, my thoughts are horse. Hip hop, freestyle, freedom of course.
My old girl Mary, better known as a swag hag. Every other night she had me out buying dime bags, a dime to a 20 to a 40 to a E. I switched to homegrown, now I puff a Bobby B's, yo.
I be getting faded, discombobulated. Never say I made it till I'm pissing off the top. OC players, fly from sayers. Haters can't fade us cause it's true hip hop.
Hey rude boy, light your body non-stop. You're the first to start, you're the last to drop. Hey rude boy, you never fear the cops, cause music is a weapon and that them can't stop.
Check your trace. You perpetrate, I can't relate. Your mental mind state is far too overrate. You can't skate. Don't sit and debate. You need to skip the state as Jesus Christ to clean your slate. I think it's fake. I ain't done yet, so wait. Your philosophies, pelling underweight, they're out of date. One more thing and then we'll straight. Put the fake to sleep and then I'll catch you at the wake. And then we'll bake and once again try to relate. Hopefully the good will win, you lose the hate. Council closed, I think we're up to date. Fuck up, young chump, get a grip, checkmate on your trait.
Boy, you should have take the set. He just saved your life from a terrible fate. It's some boy, Saint just put you in check. He set you straight to save your own neck.
I be getting faded, discombobulated. Never say you made it till I'm pissing off the top. OC players, fly from sayers. Haters can't fade us cause it's true hip hop.
Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Singing with the kings upon the rebel version. Hey rude boy, I say you're party non-stop. You're the first to start, you're the last to drop. Hey rude boy, you never fear the cops, cause music is a weapon and that them can't stop. Shock out to all the rude boys. Shock out with suburban noise. Coming in unity like one big family. Every SP rally's gonna make you feel so irate and stark, boy. You know me chat non-stop, sticking the roots. Rubber dub, ragamuffin, punk, rockin' stark, boy. Kicking down your shit from a microphone here to you cancel. Yeah, like a black song, we gonna rise above. Every time we come with respect and love. I are the one dark boy from LACA. In the name of unity, I man must say. From London to Kingston, from the South Bay. All me I go do is flash me style. Now of them a come and I'm say them the done. Little sound boy with no solution. Check the vibe, watch this one flow. You may find you don't need any ego. It's dark boy. You know me chat non-stop with the roots. Rubber dub, ragamuffin, punk, rock a rude boy. You never fear the cops. Music is a weapon and that them can't stop.
I fucking love that song. Like Saint Dog, you could tell he's from that cloth, like a real street dude. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Like he's like that chorus when he's like OG, what do you say? I be getting faded, discombobulated. Never said I made it, so I'm pissing off the top. OC players, fly rhyme sayings. Love that shit, man. Just like I said, his pronunciation of words and the way he says shit is so fucking dope, man. He's my favorite, hands down. So yeah, discombobulated at the 4th spot. I don't have much to say because this album's only been with me in a couple of months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Mike doesn't have any growing up with his stories for sure.
Right.
He's only known it for under a year.
But I love it.
Oh yeah.
All right. My number 4 is So High.
I need rooms to pop. Fuck Babylon, man, I can't get enough. Shop like it going down. We're all getting lifted cause I just stole the pound. Switching past, that's what Saint's yelling. Fuck that shit, I'm hitting till my mind's gelling. And when I'm done, I'll head to Flanagan's to play some pool and match with a couple friends. Grab the sack, it's off to a local park. Break out the bone, pack it tight and let this spark. Windows up so the boat's getting fishbowl. And if you in, you can't escape the end. I took 7 hits off that bug called kind. Close my eyes, my mind starts jogging. Here I go again, man, my mind's boggling. I'ma get the soul high. I'ma make that ass fly. Hit the bone, stand by. I'ma get the soul high. Hey, yo, here I go. Reminiscing about the weekend, taking time to remember when my shit has been dinner to dancing, fly girl romancing, balling with the homies, smoking buds and relaxing. Is how I was smoking, fucking swag, weed and dope is what I'm toking. Split to my left, as I tilt my head back, looking like a Mac, cause I'm down to blaze us like I said. Kottonmouth pit, so I said that's well. Pass a tweet to the left, party bus is set in. I need some fresh air because I'm high off that end. Walk toward the door, but I didn't get far. I kicked in, I took a seat at the bar. As I look into the sky and the air starts fogging. Here I go again, yo, my mind's boggling. I'ma get the soul high. I'ma make that ass fly. Hit the bone, stand by. I'ma get the soul high. Here I go, getting deep into my mind again. Thinking about good times, smoking kind again. By myself, so you say? Am I a stoner or a loner, man? I can't call this until I drown that I'm living in. I got family members feeding from the cocaine. And loved ones locked up in prison. That's why I'm belling, yelling, man, fuck the system. All the pressures of this life get me frustrated. So I reach for the bar so I can get faded. I raise a bowl up and takes me to another level. To escape the pain and all my life's trouble. Close my eyes, pray, take the pain away. Ask the Lord, should I live to see another day? But her is down, I guess it's what a life's little test. Chasing thirst, take a rest, to the test. Only to find out my first real true love. Shot at 23, now she's waiting for me up above. I put the fight back in touch, dog, and here I go again, motherfucker, my mind's boggling. I'ma get it so high. I'ma make that ass fly. Hit the bone, stand by. I'ma get the soul high.
I'm gonna get you so high. I'm gonna make that ass fly. Shit's so dope. And basically, it's just a song about them fucking smoking weed. Like, they're gonna fuck you out. I mean, that's this whole fucking record. Like,
Shocker.
When you hear the lyrics, it's not like it's nothing crazy. Like, break out the bong, pack it tight, and let it spark. Windows up so the bugs getting fishbowled. And if you're in, you can't escape the endo. It's just them talking about fucking smoking weed. Like, you can't really say how much else about it. But the hook is so fucking dope that it gets stuck in your head. I talk about it a lot on their show, where like, and I put a lot of these songs on my list that they get stuck in my head. Like if I'm just at work and I just start singing the fucking song, this is one of those two where the hook gets infectious and shit. So I had to put it on my list.
Anybody that like rode around and smoked weed in the day too also got to appreciate the line about rolling up the windows so the fucking car just gets smoked out, man. Like we used to do that shit back in the day. Like we caught a blunt trip and we'd all four have like a blunt and fucking pass them around throughout the trip, and by the end you couldn't see through the fucking smoke. You open the doors and shit, it looks like Cheech and Chong on that fucking on the movie when they're little fucking that smoke's rolling out of the shit. So yeah, it's like they're doing more than just talking about like smoking weed. They're also like throwing in like fucking little things that only you would know if you are really out going out and rolling around smoking weed with your homies and shit. So I think it's pretty dope.
Like Rone was saying before, the beginning is really funny because it's like the beginning is like pinkies up stoner talk. About, like, they got nutrients in the soil and
Bobby B talking about growing the weed and shit.
They grow weed like as big as a Volkswagen and shit. It's just like it's like high times like stoner talk. It's really funny.
Straight up.
Like when people were smoking Reggie, you know.
Right.
Like, this
and that Reggie was fire back then, bro.
Right.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, but like they're talking about like the pinkies up shit.
Yeah, some higher grade shit.
Yeah, in '98.
Yeah.
I remember watching what was it, the documentary they put out, and like them pulling out like buds, like actual buds. I'm like, oh my god, it's not flat. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, you're only used to like the Mexican brickweed. It's fucking packed in a box. It comes out in sheets. And I remember I think it was the lottery video. It was one from High Society. I think they're at Bobby B's crib. He's got a greenhouse that they're all like wrapping in front of and shit. Because I remember he got popped for growing weed like around that time. But it probably wasn't the smartest thing to put your fucking greenhouse on a music video.
All right, my number 4. I'm going Bump. Like Luke said earlier, that shit bumps. That shit is hard as fuck, man. That beat, everything about it, it's just mosh pit music. I love the music video to it. You got Pakalika, and like halfway through the song, they just do like this breakdown. Pakalika does his fucking dances and shit.
Yeah, it's like Bobby B playing music for him in the driveway, fucking Pop breaking it down. That shit's dope.
That shit was fire. I love Bump, man. You know, another song with another intro, creep. I'm on the creep for the kind bud. OC, late night, rolling in the B-dubs, sick of scraping resin, so I'm looking for a sack. That shit, man. And then Saint, I mean, we're just gonna be saying this all night. Saint was the star of Kottonmouth Kings. Like, it was clear this guy was the guy.
He was the front man for sure.
Yeah. Like, without a doubt, like Saint was the dude for Kottonmouth Kings. He was just so fucking good with it. Well, I'm that kid that the bitches talk about. Saints what they shout. You got all the clout. I love him, dude. He just kills it, man.
The stories about Saint are really funny too. Like how he just take out a gun at a fucking party and just fucking skyline.
He truly didn't give a fuck.
You could tell. That's why he's the gulliest one.
Yeah,
I used to call them the Stoner Backstreet Boys. I used to fucking hate them. Once they hit Royal Highness, I'm like, this shit is fucking banging.
This album is unlike any other. This and the first Hidden Stash. It's so raw. It's just so, like, some of them sound like demos. They're so raw sounding. After Saint left the group, they really polished the sound down. But this shit is just that. This album hits way different than any other album.
So good.
Move it up to the 3 spot for me. It talks about it as my favorite weed track of all time, Psychedelic Funk.
This is gonna go from the Hawaiian Islands of creation, Mars plantation, with the Kottonmouth King burning up the nation.
Don't watch your back, cause we're coming through the front. And when we're on stage, yeah, we're smoking like a blunt. My mind's always tripping, so you know I cannot run. With the Kottonmouth King, click, kicking psychedelic funk. Puff puffing on that blunt. Indo swagger stuff. Southern Cali punks kicking psychedelic funk. Shit, it's a damn good day. Got money in the bank. Cash in my tank. Pays for my dank. Got a new pair of Max. Had money for the taxi for the puppy. Heard the Lord I do think. Boom shit bang. X is the name. Dirt slang the game and I bang boom tang. It's the first county all league pimp selection. Bobby B's on the mix with the vinyl injection. Shit to Saint back to Sinner. Boss was a picture but I huff paint thinner. Took your room home and that bitch made me dinner. Rolled a couple gunners and I went up. It's the capital D, the LOC. Can't nobody even fuck with me. My style is free, I bangs the P. I tag the circle A for anarchy. Don't watch your back, cause we're coming through the front. And when we're on stage, yeah, we're smoking like a blunt. My mind's always tripping, so you know I cannot front. With a Kottonmouth King, lick it in psychedelic funk. Puffin' on the blunt, Indo swagger stunt. Southern Cali punks, kicking psychedelic funk. Hot damn, back in my van. Copper pull me over, ask me what's my plan. Bitch sniffing around like you can't say what. Blam blam, now there's bacon on the van. I said fuck the police, I'm an old school skater. Rolling up the curb, throw a piece and say later. Got a dark vibe like that fool Darth Vader. Told you motherfuckers I'm an old school skater. I'm D-Loc, so fair is fair. Party over here, fuck you over there. I got a bag of buttons smothered in red hair. Saint Dog started drinking, so you better be lying. I got so much bounce, you can feel my vibration. Easy access for easy penetration. What's all this talk about a generation? Legalize a plant, let's free this nation. Booyaka, booyaka, hemp plantation. Booyaka, booyaka, free this nation. Don't watch your back, cause we're coming through the front. And when we're on stage, yeah, we're smoking like a blunt. My mind's always tripping, so you know I cannot front. With a Kottonmouth King, lick it in psychedelic funk. Puffin' on a blunt, Indo swagger skunk. Southern Cali punks, kicking psychedelic funk.
It's just got a different fucking sound from everything else on the album. The fucking chorus is infectious as fuck. Don't watch your back, cause we coming through the front. And when we on stage, yeah, we smoking like a blunt. My mind's always tripping, so you know I cannot front. We the Kottonmouth Kings, kicking psychedelic funk. Puffing on a blunt, Indo swagger skunk. Southern Cali punks kicking psychedelic funk. So like we were talking about just now, how they were fucking doing like the pinkies up fucking weed, like, you know, snob or whatever. They're talking about fucking smoking anything they can get their hands on in this one. Right. So I dig that shit because I was smoking on swag back then. So whenever they started talking about smoking only good weed, I was like, fuck that, man. You get back to your roots. So this song's fucking super dope, man. Like I said, it was my #1 weed song. If I'm gonna pick like one song to play for like people that ain't ever heard Kottonmouth Kings and we're doing like a blunt trip, like I talked about, it's gonna be Psychedelic Funk, because you get a few hits of the blunt and like by the second time that chorus is going along, you're singing along with it. So Psychedelic Funk at the 3 spot.
It's a fire fucking song, man.
So good.
Yeah.
That's why the album's so good. Like, and it hasn't aged at all. Like, it sounds as good today, 24 years later, as it did when it came out, because it's just so much variety and it's all done so well. Like, you could tell they had like friends in the music business that fucking did every type of fucking genre of music and brought them all in to help with this album, and it shows.
Yeah.
All right, my #3 spot, the one that won me over, Play On.
Yo, Kottonmouth Kings don't stand for a gang. Kottonmouth Kings just let the nuts hang. Everyday thing, how we hang, how we hang. Kottonmouth Kings just do our own thing.
cigarette and I check my dirty drawers. Threw on some dickies and I grab my back chain. Stuffed it down my waist and I let my pants hang. Beanie on my head just to cover up my lump. The night before got in a fight just cause I was drunk. Grabbed my sack of weed and I loaded up the bomb. Took a rip, held it in, then I coughed up a lung. Earned some incense so I could cover up the smell. An everyday thing that I live to tell. Put on my black ties, covered up my red eyes. If that copper pulls me over, well it's lies, lies, lies. Now the stereo was on and the CD was bumping. Insane clown posse talking about chicken head. Walked up through the fridge, opened it up and grabbed my bitch. Picked up the phone, then my favorite got the crew. Party later on 5 River Jetties. 56 streets, so you know there'll be some betties. Pacific Coast Highway takes me to my destination. Party time, baby, it's a nightly occupation. Stepped up the pad, won't tend to play his den. On the way to Melanie to my brother in the pen. There's a smile on your face from my smoothed up style. See you later, alligator. After wild crocodile. There's a type of dope that we be doing every day. Diddy dotty, diddy dotty, diddy dotty day. Make some moves, show these players to play. So we can play on, play on, play on. Now a new day journal, let's get things started. Hit the bong, roll the song, took a piss and farted. Did my blue jeans, did some bleach and starches. Mobbing OC, we need the golden arches. Yo, sounds D-Loc, where you at? Saint tongue over and he starts it to yak. Kick out of Mickey D's cause we don't know how to act. Let's call up Kevin's in the hook of 40 cent. Now tonight's the night like DJ Quick. At least 3 parties that we gotta hit. And if the cops show up, we're gonna start some shit. Right time, baby, Kottonmouth clip.
Fucking love that song. That diddy daddy day. And that beat just West Coast as a motherfucker. You know? What do you say? Tonight is the night like DJ Quick.
Yeah.
Tonight's the night like DJ Quick.
DJ Quick, one of my favorite rappers ever / producers. And to mention that, like these dudes know what's up. Saint Dog. Like Play On is banging. That shit bumps.
That's like when Mike heard Zool talking about Mobb Deep. He like, these motherfuckers know what's up.
yeah. Shout out to Billy Obey. He put in my comments. He's like, Mobb Deep, one of the greatest duos ever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Mike's reaction when he heard the fucking DJ Clue shout out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
DJ Quick.
I'll just say that this
Yeah.
is my number 3 as well. It's just a fire fucking song.
Yeah.
So goddamn good. Like Saint just he kills it on here. Now I woke up this morning and I thought about how smoked a cigarette and I chucked my dirty drawers. Like it's just some regular everyday dude type shit. You know what I mean? Like threw on some dickies and I grabbed my bag chain, slapped it on my waist and I let my pants hang. Beanie on my head just to cover up my lump. The night before I got in a fight because I was drunk. Like come on.
Which you probably know is also true. No, it's ain't.
Like I love that shit, man. And then of course the ICP reference, which is what solidified Kottonmouth Kings for me back in '98. Hearing that shit, because all I was listening to at that point was ICP, just straight the fuck up. That's it.
Saint's one of them white boys that got flavor. So you know, like Luke and Rone Bone and Brandon, they got flavor. White boys, you know what I'm saying? White boys that got flavor.
Yeah, Saint had that charisma, man. Like for sure, like we said, he was the front man. Like, and it was you could see it on the videos, like we were talking about. Like all the music videos, he's shown the most. He's in the center of them whenever they're fucking rapping and shit. So he was the front man. And we keep talking about how fucking crazy he is. Like how that fucking line about him getting in a fight the night before is probably true. Like the easiest way to prove that is he got kicked off an ICP tour in the late '90s for being too fucking crazy for ICP.
To get kicked off an ICP tour, you got to be fucking crazy.
And in the '90s when they were fucking nuts.
Right.
97 yet? 98 when they're wilding.
Yeah. And the beat on Play On is one of the best beats on the entire album. I love that shit. That shit bumps.
It's my favorite beat.
It's smooth as fuck, man. That's like it's that rider music.
Saint Dog, his accent, so dope. I can't get over it. The pronunciation of words.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3. Ron mentioned it earlier. Bonk Token Alcoholics. I know Mike don't like it, but I fucking like. What got me excited for that?
I probably like it now if I go back.
What's funny is what got me excited for the listening party when we were getting ready to do it is I was bumping this in my car, It's the first song on the whole record. And it's just like, it does that slow climb of Bonk Token Alcoholics, the Bonk Token Alcoholics. And you're just like, yeah, let's fucking go. Like, I fucking love that song, bro. Like, even the beginning, getting bent every night is the thing we do. Get up every day in the afternoon. I crawl out of the bed on the way to the shower. Gotta hurry up. I got a date in an hour. It's just so fucking dope. And I love Bonk Token Alcoholics. It got me so excited for that listening party. And so when Mike said he didn't like it, I was like, oh, I love that fucking song. It's
Keep in mind, I'm still in my grumpy fucking mood and not liking these guys. Keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? I love the album.
That is true. That is true. It was the very first, like, true Kottonmouth Kings song that Mike had ever heard. So, you know, Rone broke it down. I fucking love that song. So, you know, number 3 for me.
Yeah, I love that shit. Like you said, the build up with the Bonk Token Alcoholics, and at the end they're just screaming that shit. Bonk Token Alcoholics.
Mike said they listened along to that on his first listen. Like, fuck these white boys. Corey ass motherfuckers. Right. And then Saint won him over on that next track. He started softening up.
I think if he was there from the beginning, I'd be a fucking KMK fan forever, though. Yeah.
Move it up to my 2 spot. Been talked about multiple times. Bump. It's got to be on the list. It's fucking classic. Bum, bum. That's the sounds of the 50s hitting in my trunk. Bump, bump, bump with the Kottonmouth Kings, and we don't give a fuck. I know, like, the theme of the show and the album is Saint Dog's the star, but man, D-Loc's got my favorite verse on this one. It's the unpolitical, psychoanalytical, undefeated champ that'll stick you, fool. My style is crazy, now waka waka lazy. If you chill with me, I'll be sure to blaze thee, plant you in the ground, let you trip like a daisy. It's about time I compute my math to my beats be bumping like a seismograph. See, I've tripped before, but never like this. Straight to my mind, put my brain in a bliss. I won't fake the fun when I'm smoking on a skunk. The 40 bow evil got my pink out drunk, and like Mickey Mantle, I can switch my stance. I'm a supercharged baller that's electrically enhanced. Like, motherfucker is crazy on that. That's my favorite D-Loc like line verse of all time. I think like all of them knew it was dope because they really highlighted in the video when they did the remix. They put the remix out and it like drops down and just comes right back to that. So they knew that fucking flow was dope. So got to give some shine to D-Loc because. Rightfully so. We're going to give Saint a lot of props on there. But, man, he brought his shit on that one right there, man. That's my favorite fucking D-Loc verse of all time. Song's fucking dope, as everybody's talked about. Bump at the 2 spot.
Yeah, D-Loc was dope on this album. Yeah, we're giving mad props to Saint. But Loc was on fire on this album, too. I agree. Bump is probably one of his best verses ever. Like, the way that shit just builds up and then it gets fucking crazy and then Saint comes back in at the end, man. That shit gets me amped. I love that shit.
Oh yeah, perfect for the energy of the time of this fucking record when they were touring. Man, the energy's just nuts. Like it was like a punk show in the fucking 80s.
Yeah,
like a Black Flag show or something. But it's fucking Kottonmouth Kings.
And they got.
I never seen 3 artists circle pit each other as they were opening a show.
Yeah. And they got porn stars in their videos and shit. It's fucking crazy.
I also noticed you see Johnny Richter quite a bit in those videos. Like I think in every one there's like a close up of Johnny Richter. I know I've seen him twice where they specifically show Richter. Like there's one where he's like chilling on the couch. It's that picture they use of Saint and him all the time from when they look like they're 14. Like there's that one. Then there's one where he's got like Eminem like blonde, fucking bright blonde hair, and he's got it like kind of twisted like Shaggy. So like even Richter's getting a couple appearances on the fucking videos, which goes back to originally it was supposed to be Richter in the group with all of them. He decided to sell the weed instead.
Yeah.
All right, my number 2. Life ain't what it seems. Ain't no fucking dream. Yeah, that's what it seems. Great song, amazing song. That chorus is infectious. Just the way it's put together, incredible. Saint kills it. I need a Heineken. Fire, bro. I love that song. Yeah. Jokerz Gallery broke it down lovely. So I ain't gonna say much. That's what it seems. Love this fucking song. Quoting it on Twitter and all that. It's a great song.
Yeah, I seen that shit. Yeah. And especially in '98, you just hear that voice. That's like what's so catchy about the fucking hook is that voice. And you'd never heard anything like that in '98, or I hadn't at least. So as soon as I heard that shit, man, it just stands out from everything that I've heard previously. So it makes it fucking fresh.
The beat is dope as fuck too.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
Yeah, it's a dope ass track, and he shouts out his brother Haas on here, which they do a few times, and then they have a song with Haas. He was in jail and shit. It just shows you, they were living that life at that fucking time.
Yeah, the creativity on that song's fucking crazy. I always say I'd never heard anybody like rap with somebody in jail until that. That was the first time I'd ever heard it. I'd listened to hip hop since fucking 87 and I'd never heard anybody fucking rap from jail, like over the phone. And like these motherfuckers are doing it. It just shows how creative they were. It's just, what this album is just creativity and a party album. Just put it on and fucking have fun.
Yeah.
All right, number 2 for me hasn't been mentioned yet, so maybe it'll be up there. Suburban Life.
Yes. Yeah, let's get this motherfucking party going. Suburban life ain't what it seems. Suburban life, the American dream. Suburban life, so pretty. Suburban life ain't what it seems. She gon' get a big bounce to me. Sit the car chill, won't get me. Sit gon' get a big bounce to me. Sound about you, but I won't get me. But that's it. American dream. I better go home and a brand new Beamer. Didn't think probably so. Because I took the main one. Ain't gotta go home for the bills today. I brush out the high American dream. What's the back of the line? 6 months later, but it's a whole world. Divorce pandemic. I work from home, cook meals, a TV dinner. No business, people do it. Take on the center. No cash back and turn it over and see. Suburban life ain't just shit. Suburban life ain't what it seems. Suburban life, the American dream. Suburban life, so pretty. Suburban life ain't what it seems. Pretty gay, little bouncing beat. Sit the couch, you but I won't get me. Pretty gay, little bouncing beat. Sit the couch, you but I won't get me. See, we a little people do convert to bring more trucks, white trucks, this wanna be. Soldiers of the birds of DC. America, yeah, you got problems, I got mine too. Got enough blood through the Kottonmouth crew. When we supposed to get away. Elevate from your world that ain't never bird but try. Don't want none of you selling earth on the birds on every street, bitch. No real trouble, no guilty, we so pussy. Suburban life ain't what it seems. Suburban life, the American dream. Suburban life, so pretty. Suburban life ain't what it seems. Fuck your pretty gay, little bouncing beat. Sit the couch, you fuck your pretty gay, little bouncing beat. Sit the couch, you but I won't get me. Broken home inside every house. The lane was young, can't work it out. Live people alive. Oh, I'm feeling, oh, I'm alive. You can't turn back the hand of time. Let me tell you about a flying calendar to my Bobby C. King of the crop, deep dark birds. That's on top, yeah, Billy Blow. Place your eye in me. Till dark times in the hiding in here. This is just an everyday thing. I'm out there in the Gokerz. Ain't said he know he's running with Saint Dog. People like some frogs, truck full of hogs. Get it to the boat, stay safe, watch it break. Whatever we could get, we was shooting them. Yeah, just like a back to the therapy. Neighborhood park, don't fight when they see it. Fuck good, yeah. Don't you gotta like that? Got that wrong. Suburban life ain't what it seems. Suburban life, the American dream. Suburban life, so pretty and big. Suburban life ain't what it seems. Fuck your big ass, little bouncing beat. Sit the couch, but I won't get me.
this is another one where the hook, they killed the hooks on this whole fucking record, man. So like it goes so fucking hard, and then the verses are so dope. Like now you got problems, I got mine too. There's not enough bud for the Kottonmouth crew. Because when we smoke to get away, to elevate from this world of hate, never perpetrate. I don't want no degree selling herbs on the burbs on every street. Shit's so fucking dope. And it's another one of those songs that like it like builds and you get more and more hype, because then they start screaming that suburban life and what it seems. So fucking dope. It's like Brandon mentioned, it was on the Scream 2 soundtrack, I believe he said. Yeah, I fucking, and they had this video was all over on MTV back in the day too, because they had the music video for it. Yeah, number 2 for me, Suburban Life.
The one thing that we can't overlook about this record is Saints and Lok's back and forth on this record. You know, rapping a line, you know, them going back and forth, like it was just so smooth. The way they put this album together for their first album too, and teenagers, like young ass kids, to put an album of this caliber together is impressive.
Had that Beastie Boys influence for sure. You could hear with that, and then also you got to give props to Daddy X on a lot of the song structures and the hook writing, because he was used to that from his punk rock shit. I know Psychedelic Funk, he definitely wrote that when he sings the fuck shit. So I'm sure he was helping out with a lot of those that we're talking about with Saint still in the show with the hooks. I'm sure he was helping a little bit.
He produced almost the whole record.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've always said X. I think it's overlooked X's contribution to the group, because I really, like you said, the structure of the songs, I really think he brought that to the group.
Yeah, they were legit just dudes rapping to the fucking radio. Like Daddy X heard them rapping along to an LL Cool J song, and then made this record out of just hearing two kids rap to an LL Cool J song. So I mean, he knew what the fuck he was doing.
Yep. All right, my number 2, So High. Man, I could just remember just getting so high to fucking so high back in the day. Just getting fucking high as shit. Black lights, all that shit, man, back in the day. You know, black posters. Man, it just so smooth. I love the remix too. But the version that's on the album is fucking fire too, man. Back up off me, I need room to puff. Fuck Babylon, man, I can't get enough rough. So Saint Dog, D-Loc kills it on here too. Here I go, reminisce about the weekend. Take your time to remember where my shit has been. Like, you know, you've survived the weekend, and then you're like, all right, what the fuck happened again? But I love that shit, man. Just smooth, get high shit.
I like Saint's line of off getting lifted because I just stole a pound. Like, wild ass motherfucker, you know, he probably really stole a pound from some motherfucker. Right. Was just out getting out that weekend, wrote a song about it.
Right. I'm all getting lifted because I just stole a pound. His flow is just the way he accentuated his words and all that shit, man. Fire.
Move it up to my one spot. One I think is fire. I already mentioned. Number 1, Play On for me.
Punk rock music, home running OC, adolescent doggy style, DI and social B. No doubt, Agent Orange, now the PTB. Skates in the sack, let's hit the ditch. Broke up with my girl because the hoe was a bitch. Still that boy that be putting it down. Represent OC, B-Town. This the type of thing that we be doing every day. Diddy dotty, diddy dotty, diddy dotty day. Make some moves so these plans can play so we can play on. I'm about to 7 slot nose, feed up buggies. All but the rose called the crazy mug. It's a little noisy, but inside it's all good. He got 215s underneath the hood. While I was rolling down Yobel in the boulevard, got the neighborhoods bumping 15s hit hard, dog. Dodging and weaving down suburban streets. Got this one house where I started bitching it. So I pulled the bug over and I revved it up. First gear lit him up, then I backed it up. Over the curb, told her kiss my ass. Gave her the bird bump out on that ass. Back on the mirrors, the scope was sad. 7-7 bone out past the Cadillac. Heard a horn honk, it was rolling free. Play
ladies on my tip, cause I'm so unique.
Hey, turn the bass high and I tilted my lid. I'm used to getting jocked, I'm not P-Town kid. And you know I'm doing shit that you wish you did. Dip right, going dirty round the corner, I slid.
Stopped at the school, jumped on my skirt. Folk freaks showed up when I used to think. They broke out the blunt and they got me stoned. Another day gone straight line. So come on, it's the type of thing that we be doing every day.
Diddy dotty, diddy dotty, diddy dotty, day.
Make some moves so these players can play, so we can play on, play on. I'm more better than get smoked out every day.
Diddy dotty, diddy dotty, diddy dotty, day.
Bring a fat sack so the homies can play, so we can blaze on, blaze on. Come on, come on.
Saint's voice immediately jumps out at you. Kottonmouth Kings don't stand for a gang. Kottonmouth Kings just let their nuts hang. Like, this is the song that I heard, because like I was like Mike, I didn't really dig Bonk Token Alcoholics that much, and then I heard this song, I was like, oh, okay, let's fucking give this a fucking closer listen, because this shit is dope as fuck. Chorus is dope. This is the type of dope we doing every day. Diddy dotty 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 diddy dotty day. Saint and Loc trading bars I got written on this one specifically, of them fucking trading bars. Like, I always dig the trading bar shit. I dug it whenever fucking ICP do it. I don't think Twisted does it enough, but on this album, fucking Loc and Saint fucking do it dope. Second track on the album, like I said, it's the one that made me pay attention to the rest of the album. Probably my first favorite Kottonmouth King song, so play on at the one spot for me. I always usually pick the songs that made me a fan of the group as my number one, because how can you really debate if the song made you a fan of them and you're still here fucking 20 years later? And this is the first one that I dug, so play on at the one spot.
It's a great song, man. We've talked about it a lot tonight.
yeah, if you can't tell by how many times we brought it up, it's a dope song.
The intro to that shit too, like we've been talking about, Kottonmouth Kings don't stand for gang. Kottonmouth Kings just let the nuts hang. Everyday thing, how we hang.
How they hang.
Kottonmouth Kings just do their own thing, and then that beat, boom, just hits. Come on.
All right, one for me. Psychedelic Funk.
Don't watch your back, cause we're coming through the front. When we're on stage, yeah, we're smoking like a blunt. My mind's always tripping, so you know I cannot run. With the Kottonmouth King licking in psychedelic funk. Puffing on a blunt, and those shaggers gone. Southern Cali punch, kicking psychedelic funk. Now the pot I smoke is dipped in Willy Wonka. The chocolate factory, I take more hits than Tonka. Light you up like Blanca, get you buzzing like a bee. When the Bonk Token fans represent no shit. Oh, shit, I'm back up in the mix. It's D-Loc with a grab bag of tricks. Your bitch is on my dick, your mama is too. And this is going out to the Kottonmouth crew. Damn it, get show where it tries and don't fit. Dirty white beaters, socks that just quit. But I don't give a shit, my rhymes make me legit. Horns in my hands as I bail through the pit. Buck ride, not here, forget ya. Kottonmouth Kings, y'all been the picture. Suburban noise, man, I thought you knew. And if you're down punk rock, throw your horns up, fool. Cause we're coming through with an oldie brew. West Coast Juggalos saying hootie hoo. Don't watch your back, cause we're coming through the front. And when we're on stage, yeah, we're smoking like a blunt. My mind's always tripping, so you know I cannot run. With the Kottonmouth King licking is psychedelic funk. Puffing on a blunt, and those shaggers gone. Southern Cali punch, kicking psychedelic funk. Scratch, pow, don't ask me how. Even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you anyhow. Take that, let's fix both these beers. Watch the time.
dope as fuck. Love that chorus. Sit back, smoke your fucking brains out type music right there.
Hell yeah.
Puffing on a blunt. Makes me happy. So.
Oh yeah.
Psychedelic Funk, #1.
Hey.
If the effects of weed had a sound, it would be psychedelic funk. That sounds like getting high.
It's just a fun track. It's a dope ass song.
Yeah, I wish I would have discovered that fucking album.
Yeah, man. Kottonmouth Kings ICP Twisted was the soundtrack for my life for a good 2 years solid.
Yeah, until like Blaze and Riders and shit came along.
Right.
And then someone named Aaron Dantes Yates.
Yep.
O2. Yeah.
Dog, forget about it. Shout out to Tech. Absolute Power turns fucking 20 this shit, bro.
Yeah, we got a 5-piece lined up for that birthday too.
All right, my #1. I think both Jokerz Gallery and Mike Sears mentioned it. Life ain't what it seems.
Life ain't what it seems. It ain't no fucking dream. So get a grip upon your shit and make sure your pipes clean. Now when I read a man put a grand on my royal, government lies, yo, they make my water boil. R.I.P. to my peeps, 6 feet in the soil, Riverside, hometown, represent, stay loyal. No money for a skate, no change for the tax. Wet circle with no keep, but forgot the sex wet. What? Got the circle friend to help me to relax. Hey, 1 foot gas, called the pyramid. Now afternoon to you is my morning. I wake up with the Rochanel snoring. Out of bed around 3, take 7 big T's like DJ Rob Harris. Kid, I'm sorry. Appetizing, ill, congested vibe makes ladies strive for my Bojack. Addicted like Prozac, you know that. I track them like LoJack. I'm slicker and quicker, I'll stick you like Kojak. I'm a load of must, one that I've created. It's one that I've inflated, won't trade it, so give me my space. Government control, so they hate it. Our life, it has been jaded and faded. We're getting erased. Life ain't what it seems. It ain't no fucking dream. So get a grip upon your shit and make sure your pipes clean. Pipes clean, make sure your pipes clean. Pipes clean, make sure your life ain't what it seems. It ain't no fucking dream. So get a grip upon your shit and make sure your pipes clean.
It ain't no fucking dream. So get a grip upon your shit and make sure your pipe's clean. So fucking dope. Like I said before, it's one of those songs where like it gets stuck in your head and you just start singing the chorus like over and over in my fucking head. And this is like one of those things where like he's got this rhyme. Judicial system got me wishing I was president. I got a grudge against the judgment that's irrelevant. I write a rhyme to attract and show intelligence. Shit, every other night I'm getting hella bent. Like that's like, oh shit, man. Like that's not just like stupid like party shit. That's like actually fucking dope. You know what I'm saying?
I always say it that like Kottonmouth Kings had like a touch of Rage Against the Machine, like political fucking lyrics in it when Saint was there, and you could see it was him because once he went on to do his fucking solo albums, that shit's still there, and it wasn't in Kottonmouth Kings after he left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like my last song, Suburban Life. Fuck the system, shit. Like it's like sprinkled in here too. Yeah, but I had to put the song on there. I say that way too much, but I did have to put this one on here as #1. God damn it.
One of the other dope things about Life Ain't What It Seems is every verse starts out similar. It's almost the same, but the first verse, when I drink booze, put a crown on my royal. Kottonmouth Kings make a pipe out of foil. And then D-Loc comes in on the second verse. When I grow buds, I put keef on my soil. Put the green in the bing, then I make my water boil. Love that shit, man. I love when people do that where, you start a verse off similar or end it kind of similar. It's dope.
It's like ICP on Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
With the back vertebrae thing.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. my number one, and this is probably my just all-time favorite Kottonmouth Kings song, High Society.
Now, don't get me wrong, the Ten Commandments is cool. See, once upon a time, I too believed in the golden rule.
Unemployment figures at an all-time high.
Marination dwindled. So the saute swindle got tossed the fuck out the window. You know what I'm saying? Kottonmouth Kings, still blowing smoke rings. Keep your head up.
It's time for some realization, not fueled by media manipulation, but the manifestation of the last generation. Legalization.
Fuck your pension. If you're paid, pay attention. Teachers of this land, yo, you're all on detention. You failed to mention about this everyday struggle. Raised me in a bubble, but it popped up to double. Then you in trouble cause I'm older now. I'm bolder now, bitch, I'm a soldier now. I've been raised to blaze in this simple place like a greyhound's race to race. It's a disgrace.
I see people stop till there's no life left. I see heads kicked in from the words that they said. Police wrecking skulls with no questions asked. A suicidal shot, then a shotgun blast.
Nothing to do with the music I buy. Didn't have shit to do with that one that they dropped. Didn't have nothing to do with the land that got stole. Believe me, motherfucker, I see right through your mind control.
I won't drown in your society. High times, it's a high society. Lies. Everyone can try me. Why won't they just let me be? It's a high society.
First of all, let's get it straight. The system's full of shit. This ain't God we trust. You're a fucking hypocrite. Cricket politicians lying out their ass. Money hungry horse behind the door smoking grass. No trust in the nation. Spending all the money on the fucking immigration. Walls caving in. It's getting hard to breathe. 5150's what the system's done to me. Money don't mean shit to me. It grows on evil trees. Breaks up families. It's more like a disease. Causes tension. Did I mention it's the government's invention? Dollar bill, yo. Currency, a mighty dollar. For 20 bucks, you can make somebody's dollar. So go hook a holler, turn the boy into a baller. Watch his chips stack taller. You see, it's all or nothing in this game of survival. Got hustlers holding on to their scams like what's they Bible. But unviable for me to stay tribal and keep making these flows undeniable. But it's viable for me to stay tribal and keep making these flows undeniable.
Drown in your society. High times, it's a high society. Lies. Everyone can try me. Why won't they just let me be? It's a high society. Drown in your society. High times, it's a high society. Lies. Everyone can try me. Why won't they just let me be? It's a high society. Now a nation that's stolen can never be golden. Compassion's got truant in the shell of modern ruin. Modern industry, the industrial complex, a system of no balance and not enough checks. Disease bred, transmitted through sex. Revelation to fruition. Can you pay the tuition? Can you make the grade? Is life really all about getting paid? Money can't buy nothing, buried in a grave. Slave driven, unforgiven. The more you make, the better you're living. So it's all role players playing roles.
This shit is just grimy as fuck. You're talking about the political shit. Now, don't get me wrong. The Ten Commandments is cool. See, once upon a time, I too believed in the golden rule. Like, they were on some other shit on this album, man. Like,
You got the shit in the background. Unemployment numbers at an all-time high rate. Yeah, it's definitely political as fuck right there.
yeah, it's like, and they're fucking teenagers. I'm 30 fucking whatever I am right now. And I don't even fucking think about this shit. And you got these dudes as teenagers talking about it on a record. Like, god damn. And it's still the shit they're talking about on this record 25 years ago is still relevant today.
Yeah.
It's wild. But I fucking loved it. Saint's opening lines on this track, man. Fuck your pension. If you're paid, pay attention. Teachers on this land, yo, you're all on detention. You failed to mention about this everyday struggle. Brings me in a bubble, but it popped on the double. Like, come on, man. I love that shit.
Yeah,
Now,
you could tell Saint just had a lot to say on this album, man. It seems like he could have made a double album by recording an extra week. He had so much shit just saved up, ready to go.
Daddy X on here. I've seen people starve till there's no life left. I've seen heads kicked in from the words that they said. Police cracking skulls with no questions asked. A suicidal shotgun, a shotgun blast. Man, and then Saint comes back. You're like, dude, it's just... I love this track in High Society. I won't drown in your society. High times. It's a high society. Lies. Everyone keep trying me. Why won't they just let me be? It's a high society. And the beat is the grimiest beat on this fucking album, man. It's just, goddamn. When I do listen to this album, I go right to this song first, listen to it, and then just start the album from Bonk Token Alcoholics. Like, it just makes me so pumped.
Oh yeah. And like you said, this album just said so much more. It's got like 90% weed shit, but the 10%, the fucking political, man, it stands out. It's like real shit. Like we said, Saint's brother was locked up already, so he was already knowing that the system was bullshit and seeing how it worked and everything. He'd probably been locked up, or if not, he was shortly to be. So he was going through that shit, and you could tell. And like I said, on his solo albums that he released after he left the group, that shit's still there, and it wasn't in Kottonmouth Kings afterwards. A little bit on High Society, the album, because fucking Saint wrote some of those lyrics. But other than that, man, the political shit kind of went away with Saint. And I thought that was always super dope. Just another facet of their material, because, I mean, as dope as it is to hear people rap about weed all the time, it's also dope to hear them rap about some shit that makes you think.
Yeah. First of all, let's get it straight. The system's full of shit. They say in God we trust. You're a fucking hypocrite. Crooked politicians lying out their ass, money-hungry horsemen behind the door smoking grass. Like, man, they were just killing it on this album.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, you could tell they had a lot of fucking musical friends that they fucking helped with this, because it's just a different sound every song almost, so you never really get tired of it. Still a classic after this many years, so I'm glad we got to highlight it. Talk about the top 5 tracks from Royal Highness. An absolute fucking classic. Don't sleep on it if you ain't ever heard it. Peep that shit out. It's hard to find on streaming. Like, Kottonmouth Kings is weird on streaming. Like, sometimes like albums just randomly disappear and then they'll pop back up and it's only the instrumentals of that fucking album and all kinds of shit. But Royal Highness doesn't appear if you search just Kottonmouth Kings. You got to search Royal Highness because it's listed under various artists. So if you're sleeping on it, definitely fucking peep that shit out, because every song's on it. Every song on it's good. I don't skip any of them. So the songs that we didn't mention, you didn't hear yet, they're just as fire. So check that shit out. There's also a vinyl of it that came out originally. Like, I'd love to score that sometime. That'd be a holy grail piece for me. I didn't even know it existed till we did the fucking listening party with Mike, and I was looking through Kottonmouth Kings 98 shit, and somebody had like a vinyl fucking unboxing or whatever. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know that shit existed. So that's a fucking holy grail piece for sure. Like I said, I already bought it 4 times. I'll add it 5 with that vinyl if I can.
I know we did that. Some kid named For the Record. I seen that.
Go ahead and
it's expensive, I'll tell you that. I've seen it pop up a couple times. That shit goes for a couple $100.
Oh, I would think so, because like fucking Greg Malenko came out in 2017 and goes for a couple $100. I could only imagine what something that fucking came out in 98 goes for.
Right? Yeah, it's that's definitely a grail piece. Yeah.
I wouldn't even listen to it. I just frame that shit hanging up on the wall. I'd be afraid I'd fucking scratch it.
I wouldn't even touch the vinyl.
Straight up. Before we get out of here, we always do 5 questions pertaining to the subject we're talking about. Question number 1. First time you smoked weed?
1998. Yeah, this album came out. Shout out to my best friend Ray, hold your head, locked up right now. He was with this Jamaican dude, older dude. They're fucking 13. This dude's 17. But he was Jamaican, but he talked like in the hood. He didn't talk like the accent or whatever. But we just got so fucking baked. You know, you hear stories about dudes saying they get paranoid, they get scared, they feel sick when they first smoke. Not me. I felt fucking good, happy, laughing, walking around the project just laughing.
I think the people that have those experiences like we did the first time smoking are the ones that smoke every day for the rest of their life.
And I remember it was the same fucking night that I watched Monday Night Raw. You know, that was 98, really big Nitro and Raw. And that's when fucking Stone Cold smacked Vince with the bedpan. And I'll never forget that. I remember that.
Imagine being high for the first time, laughing your ass off at that.
Yeah, I came home still high. You know?
Hell yeah.
Dog, yo, weed is my favorite thing to do. I'm an angry motherfucker. Without weed, I'll be miserable. So yeah, salute to weed. You know? Yeah, first time 98 for me.
That's the crazy thing about that first time weed, like you talked about, you're still stoned when you got home. I'd wake up and still be stoned 12 hours later when I first started smoking.
Like, well, I used to get up. Yo, son, one time on Saturday, I went up, put my Timbs on, my fucking backpack, going to school. I was like, what the fuck you doing, nigga? I'm thinking it's a weekday.
That's hilarious.
Might have smoked the whole day away.
Oh, yeah. Classic.
What you got, Luke?
I would have been, it had to have been 97 or 98. So I would have been like 13 or 14, something like that. I don't remember exactly when. I just remember it was like the homies were like, hey, you know, you're, you know, when you're that young, you're like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it would have been around then. Around Malenko, or it could have been even before Malenko. So it would have been around that time.
I was super late to smoking weed. I was the last one out of like all my group of friends to smoke weed. I'd say probably it had to have been like 99, because I wasn't smoking with this album like everybody else was.
Yeah.
But I remember it was for sure after Jeckel Brothers, but everybody was just smoking, and I'm like, dude, everybody's having such a good time, and I'm just always just standing here like an asshole. So I remember smoking and just, like Mike said, just laughing, just being like, oh man, I don't even know what fucking is so funny, but this is hilarious.
Yeah. For me, it'd be 95 after watching Friday. Me and my cousin, like, he lived out in the country, man, and somebody like had homegrown shit. They brought that shit over and we smoked that. I didn't really get that high, but the first time I got high as fuck was, funny enough, the first time I listened to this album. Me and my chick, once we got home from the fucking mall, went and smoked behind her parents' garage, and like we got so fucking baked. It's in that era where I'm talking about, like, you wake up 12 hours later still stoned, and like we went in there, started listening to this album. I ate a whole box of fucking Frosted Flakes dry. just munchy like a motherfucker, eating fucking dry Frosted Flakes. Like, those motherfuckers, you gotta have some milk or a drink, or that shit just fucking clogs your shit up. But somehow my stone ass made it through the whole fucking like family box of that shit. So I think 98 was the first time I actually got stoned, because I ate a whole fucking box of fucking Frosted Flakes.
Great.
The motherfuckers was great too. Question number 2: funniest story about smoking weed. Mike might have already told his.
I think I told mine, but I'll say it again. But I got one. I'll cheat. One, we were playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. RIP my nigga Hector. He passed last year. My second best friend ever. And his cousin Mikey Lopez. He's on Facebook, so he probably remembers this. We got so fucking high, bro. Sitting on the couch playing San Andreas, and CJ was just standing there for hours. We did nothing. He was just sitting there on the TV doing nothing. That ain't too funny, but to us it was funny, right? Here's a funny one. Shout out to my nigga Adam. He's in Florida now. I was smoking at his crib, and he was drinking. I wasn't drinking. I was getting high. He was with his girl, light-skinned black chick. And he puked. He got so fucked up. He puked in one of them red cups. This bitch is all drunk. She grabs the red cup and fucking drinks the puke, bro. She spits it in the sink like a fucking projectile motion. Bro.
Oh, that's
that story. Nigga was dying, yo. Yeah.
That's some 4 a.m. at the gathering shit. You need to take your ass back to the camp.
I didn't even stop at the bitch. I'm like, let this bitch drink this nigga puke, yo. Wow.
Shit.
Damn.
Mine would have been back then, like back in the day. I had really fucking long hair, like probably like almost down to my shoulder long, and I had like that surfer bowl cut, you know, or fucking parted down the middle. I think I've told you guys this story before. I don't know if I've told it on the show before, but I had like my bowl like this, and like I lit it and I went down to hit it like this, and my hair came down. Oh, shit. And I caught it on fire. And I like pulled. I was like, "Oh shit!" I fucking smacked myself in the face. smelled like shit. I don't know if you've ever burned hair before, but that shit did not smell.
Yeah, you're like, damn, this don't smell like weed. This smell like burning hair. What the fuck's going on?
Bro, that shit fucking sucked. But yeah, that's probably my funniest one.
I was trying to think of like funny stories. I don't know. My memory must suck. I remember mad times just laughing. I
did like this stupid shit where I had we had those 3D Pringles back then. I just put it on my finger and I started doing the Cartman voice. It's dumb shit like that.
You laughing. Like I could remember just sitting there trying to hit the bowl and I can't because I'm just laughing so fucking hard. And they're like, hit the bowl, and everybody else is laughing, like, hit it. And I'm like, I can't fucking breathe right now. I'm laughing so hard. Like,
I remember laughing at nothing.
Yeah, just laughing at nothing.
A while back, I think last year, I went in the bathroom just laughing. I'm like, I gotta calm down. I'm getting too fucking crazy.
I've been smoking for 20 years. I'm still acting like this. What the fuck? For me, this dude came over and sold us weed, and he looked like fucking Eminem, so he's calling him Slim Shady. And it was at my homie Mooch's fucking crib, and we were in his mom's fucking bedroom smoking because his mom demanded to bro any joint because she fucking cut it up precisely. And that motherfucker would smoke like a cigarette. Like she was like an old school hippie stoner. And this fucking Eminem dude stays around, hits the fucking weed with us, and he hits that fucking joint. And he's not used to hitting a joint that fucking Mooch's fucking hippie mom didn't roll, and that shit hit him right in the head, passed out, fell right down on Mooch's mom's TV stand, knocked down the TV, VCR, and all the fucking VHS tapes. And like he was so embarrassed. Like once he woke up, he didn't say anything. He just like looked around like he had like a concussion or something. Just didn't know how he ended up laying on the floor. Looked at us like didn't say shit. Left like his whole fucking CD book that was like, you know, $2,000 worth of CDs. He was so embarrassed he never came back to get them.
Damn, nigga, fuck that. Look at that era.
Damn.
Yeah, this was like 2000, so like it was when CDs like $20. You ain't getting on fucking Spotify and listen to whatever you want. He left his whole CD book. He was so embarrassed he never fucking came back. And it was just funny because dude looked like Eminem. We all fucking was hating on him because ICP and Eminem was beefing then, so he's calling him Slim Shady, and then Slim Shady took one hit and just fucking dropped.
Yeah, and then the nigga Monster knocked on the whole VHS collection.
I don't know if he thought we were going to whoop his ass for fucking up the entire room, or is he just so embarrassed, or a little bit of everything, and he just dipped. He didn't say shit. We didn't see him ever again. He didn't come back to get his CDs. So we divvied up the CDs between all four of us. Mooch's mom's got the old shit. She said she got to get in on it because he fucked up her fucking VHSs. So she figured out like just random shit we didn't want. Question number 3. Ever tried edibles?
Yes.
What'd you think?
Plenty of times. They make me super fucking high. I'm to the point where I'm like a Walking Dead zombie, my nigga. Like too fucked up. Last time was 4/20, 2019, I think it was. It's like chocolate chip cookie with like white chocolate chips in it. Big joint. Dog. Super fucked up. Like high for hours. Beyond like you're sitting there zombie high, bro.
Yeah.
And it creeps up on your ass. All right. You know?
Yeah, it doesn't go through your bloodstream like when you smoke it and hit you immediately. It goes through like your liver, so it fucking hits your entire body differently.
And in high school, I had some like brownies and shit like that. There's many, and Delta 8. That's the gummies. That's pretty fire too.
Yeah, that's like the legal shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I probably would have had was like a lemon cake. I'm guessing they had like weed infused butter in it.
Yeah.
It just smelled like fucking weed. Like it was like,
yeah, it smells like grass.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it tasted okay, but it definitely smelled like weed. Like you would know, like if somebody tried to give that to you, you'd be like, well, what's this? But the last time was probably like Astro 4. I was pressured into it. And it was
pressured.
It was like a gummy thing or some shit like that. I don't know. It fucked me up though. I was like, I gotta go back to my room, go to sleep.
Great. It's funny because I was just telling this story today. Fucking, I was at my homie Golden Ball's kid's birthday party. It was a fucking kid's birthday party. And all my friends are fucking sitting there. They're eating, they're daily smokers. I don't really smoke much anymore. I'll do it every once in a while. and they're eating cookies. And I've had edibles before, and this is like homemade shit, and it's like it was like never strong. And I'm like asking somebody, I'm like, how strong are these cookies? And they're like, they're not that bad. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I just ate one. And then probably about 45 minutes later, I don't know if you've ever eaten like mushrooms or done acid. You get that feeling in your stomach. I was like, why do I have this feeling? Then I started smiling. I was like, oh shit. I'm about to start tripping or something. I was like, I gotta go home because I don't know how I'm gonna get home if I don't get home. And I go home and I just kind of have that uneasy feeling in my stomach, and I'm just sitting there. And then I start watching fucking Trailer Park Boys, and I'm folding laundry, and I'm like folding the laundry fine, and then all of a sudden I'm on the fucking floor just dying laughing at fucking Trailer Park Boys. I'm like, it's the funniest shit ever. And then all of a sudden it keeps intensifying, and I legit feel like I just ate like mushrooms or something. Like I was legit tripping. I was fucked up. I was like, I had convinced myself, I was like, I'm going to be the first OD. I'm going to be the first OD on weed. I'm going to be the first person to die on this shit. I was by myself. I was scared as fuck. I saw my friends. The next time I saw them, I was like, yo, that cookie fucked me up. They're like, yeah, for you, that was probably really strong. I'm like, yeah, you think? I was like, I was fucking gone.
I like how you admit it. Yeah, it's probably strong for you. Well, I was the one who was asking you, motherfucker. Who was you telling me the fucking potency for fucking Cheech and Chong?
I went to the ER over sativa. That's like cocaine, my nigga. My heart was like.
That's how I felt on the edibles, and like ever since then, I'm fucking scared of that shit.
Shout out to Money Miz. You know who he is, Ron.
Yep.
He taught me about the strains and everything. That nigga passed out from sativa. So, because it's like cocaine. Seriously, it's a fucking crazy head high. Cocaine!
I've tried edibles and like drinking. I made fucking THC tea, and that was the best thing, in my opinion, that I've tried. It's like edible. That shit hit quick as fuck. Like we were talking about how like it takes a little while for edibles. Like when you drink it, man, it hits a lot fucking quicker, but it's that same effect from eating it because it's not going through your bloodstream. And me and my homie that I was going to the gathering with, we saved it for the gathering. And then like the day before, we were going to get like face paint and Faygo and shit. And we drink this shit just to get into the gathering mood, get fucked up before we go shop for fucking shit. And there's this fucking store in Owensboro that's been around. It's on the main street of Owensboro. It's been there since both of us were born, and has a giant gold metal statue of like the Olympic dude in the front. And they sell face paint and fucking Halloween shit and vinyls and all that. And it's easy as fuck to see. We went up and down that fucking street 3 times before we found that fucking thing because we were so fucked up from this tea. We missed this big, giant, fucking 40-foot tall golden statue 3 or 4 times on a fucking store that'd been there since the day we were born. We was like, we better not drink that before we go to the gathering, or we're definitely not finding the gathering. So we had to put the tea up until we actually got to the gathering, or we'd have never found the fucking Cave and Rock.
I guess Jay's got that like weed infused beer that's coming out at the gathering this year.
Yeah, I've seen him promoting that on the infomercial.
You're at the gathering right now, and you're watching this at the gathering. Jay's got weed infused beer, so I don't know, check it out. I guess I don't know.
That is the strongest legal amount that they'll let him fucking put that into beer.
Yeah.
Question number 4: best mainstream weed track. So something that's not like Juggalo related.
I got Bone Thugs and Harmony, Buddha Lovers.
Buddha Lovers.
Yeah.
Classic.
Connell mentioned I got that Busy Bone Friday off The Gift. I love that fucking song. Want a baggie? Want a baggie? Fire.
I heard y'all talking about that on Speaker Club.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Ricardo, man.
The one that I actually personally listen to the most is Wiz Khalifa's Man Weed Mix, which is just using the Schoolboy Q's A Man of the Year beat.
Fucking fire song.
So fucking dope. That's just one I listen to the most, and I like it, so fuck you if you don't.
I went with 50 Cent, High All the Time, off Get Rich or Die Trying.
Smoke that good shit.
Oh man, there's so many dope songs, but I just went with that one.
I was gonna go with "Where's the Bud" from 3 6 Mafia, but then I thought about it. We always played that when we couldn't find weed. We'd be singing that to each other like, "Where is the bud? Where is the like?" So that's like kind of a negative song. So I went with "Mary Jane" by fucking Rick James. I love that fucking song. Can't get more mainstream than that song. So "Mary Jane" by Rick James will be my fucking best mainstream weed track. Close it out. Question number 5: what's the best munchie food? And it's not Frosted Flakes dry.
I had to go with chips. I just want to tear through Doritos and any kind of chips. Lay's.
What's the one flavor you're picking if you got a choice of any of them?
That nachos joint. Nacho cheese Doritos. I was going to say Pop-Tarts from strawberry joints. Cut the crust out, but who wants to do the work when you're high, nigga? Nacho cheese Doritos.
Me and my homie, I was talking about Mooch that we was smoking with Slim Shady. We ended up getting a job at fucking Quality Quip back in the day. And when he get fucking super stoned, he would get the nacho cheese Doritos and then get the Frito-Lay fucking nacho cheese dip. Dip the fucking nacho cheese Doritos in the nacho cheese dip. So he was going off of that shit.
You ain't playing around, bro.
Yeah, he stepped that shit up.
I would say tacos, but I'm going with burritos because that shit's all rolled up. It ain't gonna get fucking all over the place. It's all rolled up, nice and packed for you. Boom. So burritos, man.
Back in the day, Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its were fucking fire. I loved Cheez-Its back in the day. And then a few years ago, I got on a weed kick a few years ago. I went pretty fucking hard for like a year smoking weed. And my favorite then was watermelon. It was like food and a drink at the same time. Eat a whole fucking watermelon, dude. I love that shit.
Honorable mention to pizza rolls, bro. Them pizza rolls. Woo. That shit's fucking delicious.
Shit hits different.
That's like the cheap alternative. If you don't want to have to go to Taco Bell and get you a burrito, you throw your pizza rolls in the oven. You already spent all your money on the bag.
Are those little pizzas that are on like a fucking bagel? Pizza bites?
Pizza bites? Tony Hawk shit?
Yeah, bro.
For me, I'm going super specific way back to the day when I first started smoking. I don't even know if this fucking company's still around. Anybody remember Schwan? It was like food that like would come in a truck and drive around the neighborhood and sell shit.
I thought they had ice cream, but I do remember them, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if they were in like other places or not. People would know what the fuck I was talking about. But they had fucking bubblegum push-up pops. And you fucking... Yeah, it was ice cream, and it was like bubblegum flavored, but it had like chunks of bubblegum in it. So like you got to fucking eat the fucking ice cream, and then after you're done with the ice cream, you had this dope ass fucking bubblegum, and I would eat a box of that whenever I'd smoke a fucking bowl of weed back in the day, man. So I gotta give some shout outs to the Swan fucking bubblegum push up pops, super fucking Pacific.
Yeah, they were here in Ohio, I know that. So
Right on, probably a Midwest thing because they Mike and Rone act like they didn't know what the fuck I was talking about.
We got ice cream trucks and shit like that.
Yeah. This wasn't like an ice cream truck like dude that drives around the neighborhood and sells the kids. This was like you order it like through like a fucking catalog and shit, and he would deliver you like the one around here would sell like frozen chicken patties and everything, but like the ice cream like Luke was talking, that's what they was known for. And that fucking bubblegum. They discontinued it like 6 months into me fucking smoking weed, and I was like, oh man, I've lost my fucking go-to.
they drive like they were real small like vans, but they were like they had like a freezer. They were like kind of weird looking vehicles.
Yeah, it was weird. It was definitely a 90s thing, so I don't know if they're still existing or not, but I know like once I started smoking and found out how much I love those things, they stopped fucking making them. I hated it. They switched it to fucking orange sherbet fucking bubblegum. Oh, that shit's whack, man. I'll bring back that fucking bubblegum.
Shit the old ladies eating shit, nigga. Sherbet.
Straight up. Yeah, I ain't trying to fuck with no sherbet and some bubblegum flavored fucking sherbet. Fuck that. Dope ass time getting to go back on some memories. Like I said, this album, Royal Highness, was when I started smoking weed. So it's all those memories we was talking about today, man. Just classic, funny fucking shit. So like I said, if you're sleeping on this album still, go peep it out before we get out of here. Ron, go ahead and tell everybody where they can peep out Beneath the Dirt every Monday if they want to.
Yeah, every Monday, new podcast, beneathdirt.com. It's available on all podcast apps, YouTube, all that shit. Much fucking love for having me on here. Before we bounce up out of here, rest in peace, Saint Dog. Rest in peace, Pakalika. Like, man, those dudes were like staples of my fucking, I guess you could say childhood, you know?
They were the heart and soul of Kottonmouth, that's for sure.
Yeah, man.
The rebellious fucking figures for sure. Like whenever you bring up Kottonmouth Kings, like Pakalika was the only dude smoking weed during the Kottonmouth Kings set at the first gathering because he just didn't give a fuck. It was still like local. It was in the expo center, and then the fucking shows were in the parking lot. So there's cops all around the fucking thing. Only motherfucker brave enough to fire up weed the entire time was Pakalika, and he fucking had a sign that says "Fuck you, I smoke weed." So yeah, he was right there with the rebellion of Saint Dog. So yeah, shout out to them two. Rest in peace to them fucking two original kings for sure. Till next time, I remind you, every Thursday, peep out a brand new episode of 5 Piece right here on the Fago Lovers Network. Until then, I'm Jokerz Gallery. This is 5 Piece. We out.